following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
We are back. Degraw's Yankees. I'm Ralph Tycho with the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, and I have the privilege of introducing every week Mr. Jack Degraw. How are you?
Good. How are you today, Ralph?
Oh, good. It's California. It's sunny. A little cold, but we've had rain for a couple of weeks and now sun for a couple of days, and it's much appreciated. And I'm sure it's Florida where you are, and it's always sunny except for 3 o'clock in the afternoon it rains. And that's pretty steady, am I right?
Well, it's changed a little bit, Ralph. Now it rains a lot at night, but it's still in the summer. It almost rains every day. It's about 85 here today, and the Yankees, reported today, the regular players, and tomorrow I'm heading down there because they're going to have the full team workout. So good times are around the corner.
Good. You're bringing your camera, no doubt.
Yep, I went down last Thursday for pitchers and catchers, and I took a few photos, but the access isn't any good. So hopefully tomorrow they'll let the fans get close, and I'll get some nice shots.
Explain to a fan what the spring training thing is all about. I am an Easterner, Northeasterner, never have attended spring training. And I'm wondering, what is the glitz? Is it overrated? How do you see it? How has it changed over the years?
Well, for one thing, Ralph, you don't have the access that you used to. You could get closer to the players when they were over the minor league complex at Himes. Now they lock that out. They don't let you keep baseballs. And when the pitchers and catchers get down here, I mean, they've spent millions of dollars on Steinbrenner Field. So the pitchers and the catchers, most of the time they work out underneath. So you can't even see them, you can't even watch the bullpens. So really, and then when they're on the backfields, you can't get over and watch them, so you're like 100 or so yards away, and you really can't see anything. And another thing that's changed a lot, they used to start, maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Now they start like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So instead of being done by 11 or 12, they're just getting started.
Right. I'm a big minor league fan. Is there any way that you guys can have access, or you guys, people coming down to spring training, can have access to minor league camps and their workouts?
Well, the good thing, Ralph, now down here, March 1st, the Yankees start their minor league camp, and that's open to the public. And a really good thing is March 12th, the Yankees start a minor league schedule. So for like 15, 16 days in a row, they have a game every day, like at 1 o'clock. The Phillies come over, the Braves come over, the Pirates, the Blue Jays, and it's free for the fans. And a really nice thing is a lot of times, if the Yankees are going to go play in Lakeland, they'll leave a lot of their starters behind, and they'll pitch or they'll bat over the minor league complex. So you might see, say, Aaron Judge doesn't make a road trip. He might go over to the Himes, a minor league camp, and might lead off the first inning for 5 innings in a row. You might see CC pitch or Severino. So it's really a good thing. It's actually better than the games. So, check out the minor league camp if you're in the area.
Good recommendation. Speaking of the Yankees, two of the Yankees you just mentioned, Severino just had his contract extended. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, because they were going to arbitration, and he was going to do that on Friday. Him and the Yankees, and they got together and worked out.
You can avoid that. Anytime you can avoid sitting there and hearing what your boss really thinks about you. Because, chances are you're a piece of meat, and they really value money over anything else. And all that comes out it never helps a kid's head, no matter what. So,
well, you remember what happened. You remember what happened last year with Dylan Betances? They trashed the kid, and he's a free agent after this year, and I think there might be some hard feelings on his end, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him. People are human. They forget all these statistics, this, that, and the other thing. You got a human being going out there every day, and no matter what it is, family life, traffic jams, health, raising kids, taking care of your parents, that sort of thing. It's life. They're no more immune from it than you and I, and it's difficult. So psychologically, if you could avoid being bad-mouthed, and that's always great. Let's put it that way. Sebastian's going to finally retire. I'm happy he's going to go out in style because I have some good feelings about this year with the Yankees. I hope you concur.
Well, he's been an outstanding pitcher from the Yankees. I mean, when they got him in 2009, that was one of the guys that, got him over the top with his, he was a power pitcher, and it took him a couple years to become a power pitcher, throwing off speed stuff. But, from everything I heard, he's fantastic in the clubhouse. And, the guy can still pitch. So hopefully, he can give him 5, 6 innings every start. I know he's got, with the heart thing he had, he's a little behind in spring training, but he'll throw some, side sessions and, so he'll be ready for the season.
Right. I think that was a case of adjusting his medication. Am I correct?
Yeah. So they're taking it kind of slow. He was out the other day. I seen him playing catch, but I don't think he'll get into any games maybe till around the 10th of March. Okay.
Is there any contact between the fans and the players in spring training anymore? Would you elaborate on how that's changed over the years?
Well, the thing is now when they're on the fields tomorrow, Ralph, I mean, you're right there. You're like, you can interact with the players and most of them are nice guys and stuff. I mean, they'll come over and sign once in a while and you get some great shots. But the thing is with spring training, you don't have the access you used to. I mean, the pitchers were down here for 6 days and the regular players were down here for 6-7 days. Now they have 3 or 4 days of practice. Well, the Yankees have 4 days of practice this year with the full squad. And then Saturday they go down to Fort Myers to play the Red Sox. So you can still get close, but it's not like you don't have as many days to do it.
Would you agree with me that players are coming into spring training in shape and almost ready to go?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, what these regulars are doing tomorrow, a lot of these guys have been down here for a week or two. So they're just, going from the minor league complex to Steinbrenner Field. And so they've been down here working out. So it's just, a continuation of what they've been doing.
Okay. I want to know what your concerns are in spring training, going into spring training, and what you're optimistic about. First, your concerns.
Well, one of the things, you don't know how Troy Tulowitzki, if he can hold up. And, there is some concern about the pitching staff. Severino struggled the second half of the season last year after he was fantastic the first half. And you don't know if CeCe's going to hold up. And Tanaka, he's been, for the last 3 years, his arm could go at any time. So there is concerns, but the way I feel, I mean, they got a great bullpen, and I'm sure they'll make a move or two before the start of the season, probably a pitcher, and you might even see a first baseman come on the board. But they got a heck of a team, Ralph, and I see them, winning in the upper 90s this year. So, they're definitely a playoff team.
Okay, the only job that seems to be open is first base. What do you think about that? What do you think Bird's chances of coming back to form, so to speak, are?
Well, I think for him, spring training is a big thing for him. I think he really has to perform well down here, hit well and just stay healthy. And Voit, he come on last year in the second half and he played great, but he's never done it for a full season. So there is concerns there, and I think eventually you'll see the Yankees, sign a first baseman just for insurance.
Oh, okay. That's they're not. Who was it? Duca was the first baseman last year
for the Yanks.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was Voit. They got Luke Voit from the Cardinals.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Cashman made a great move there because my buddy who was with the Cardinals remembered him in A-ball, and he said he was the best hitter on the team, but the Cardinals just didn't have any room for him.
Yeah, sometimes it is a case of not how good you are, it's where you are. You could be in a system and backed up, and that can impede you. Any free agents, what I call free agent, Rule 5 draftees coming aboard this year? I'm always interested in them. Makes for an interesting story.
I really didn't see anything. I think the one thing, the Yankees picked up that guy from the White Sox who had, he had a serious medical issue last year. I mean, the name escapes me right now, but that's a kid to watch in, spring training.
What was his medical issue? I'm just curious.
I think he had a seizure in the dugout. It's something, very serious.
Oh, well, hope that doesn't come up again. That kind of bums things out when there's a seizure in the dugout. I don't know what to say about that. Catching, we're talking about Sanchez now. As I see it, he's still young enough that his ways can be changed. Am I feeling good about that unnecessarily?
Yes. Oh, the pitcher, Ralph, is Danny Fraqua. They got him from the White Sox. Yeah, they've been working with Sanchez, with every day. He's been down here working out. I know he's with some, major ex-major league players. I think he worked with Pudge Rodriguez and a couple other guys. But that's too big of a bat to, give up on. I mean, even with all the troubles the Yankees had last year at catcher, people forget offensively with Sanchez, Higashioka, and Romine, they still combined for over 30 homers and 100 RBIs. But Sanchez's defense is a concern.
Okay. When something like that with defense really hinders a guy's career, did they think of moving him maybe to first base?
Well, I think if he don't get progressively better this year, that's a possibility too, putting him at first. And, then there's the concerns with Andujar's defense. And then, the Yankees, I think, are interested in, the Colorado Arenado as a third baseman. So, you could see Sanchez go to first, or you could see Andujar at some point go to first. And
let me tell you something. The kid from Colorado plays the best third base I've seen in a long time. He really is solid defensively. What would they have to give up to get him?
Well, I believe he's a free agent after this season. Now, if Colorado's struggling at the break, they might be able to pull a trade for him. And, the Yankees got a lot of arms in the minor leagues. They're not in camp, a lot of these good arms, because they're still like in the lower levels. But, that's a possibility too. And for some reason, the Yankees, Andujar doesn't seem to be, too high on their list. I mean, he's a heck of a hitter, but for some reason they don't like the defense.
Right. I think he had some erratic throws in the playoffs. Am I correct on that, if I remember correct?
I don't remember too many in the playoffs, but I think the thing that concerns him is, he double clutches with his throws sometimes, but I think the concern is his range. And
okay.
There's not a lot you can do with that. I mean, you could get him playing back, a few feet or so because he's got the arm to make up for it. But, if you can't move that well, that could be what can you do about that? That could be a big concern.
Could that be another future first baseman?
Yep, that's a possibility too. So, it all depends how Bird does and, if Voit holds up. And I think that kid they got, Lemieux, who's a great fielder, he might play some first base too.
Okay. Is bringing up the name Ellsbury at this point, are we ever going to get anything out of him?
Well, from what I understand, he's not even in camp, Ralph. And I think, if somebody has an injury, you at least want him in camp, to work
right.
with the trainers and stuff. But they're telling him to stay out. I don't know where he is, in Arizona, and he's going to be down here sometime in March. But I would think, why isn't he down here working with the trainers?
Very good point. Maybe he's headed towards retirement because he's gone through a lot of what David Wright went through with the Mets for the past few years. And that's got to be a psychological bummer. How long can you rehab? Baseball's supposed to be a fun game for these guys. And all of a sudden, they're millionaires. You can't feel too sorry for them. But it's got to play with your head. And how long they can keep that up is not everybody could do it for 5-6 years like David Wright did it. And end up coming back and retiring.
Yeah, I mean, David Wright was a Hall of Famer. I mean, he was a great player, and he has a great passion, And I don't care how much money somebody makes. I mean, they love this game, and they just want to, play forever. And I mean, a guy like Ellsbury, I mean, he had some solid seasons with the Red Sox, and he was an outstanding player. But if you're having trouble with your legs, you can't play baseball. It takes away your speed, and it affects your swing, and it affects everything. And you want to come back and play 20, 30 games a year and hit 215. I mean, I don't think he wants to do that.
No, I liked him as a Red Sox. He was like a 4-5 player, and very good defensively. He's one of those guys we talked about who came over from the Red Sox to the Yankees, guys like Boggs and Damon and what have you. Sorry he didn't pan out. Like I say, I liked him a lot as a ball player.
Well, when he was with the Red Sox, he was terrific. I mean, he used to kill the Yankees. And to be fair with him, his first year he was a little above average, and then he had 3 average seasons. So, I mean, money-wise, it was a bad deal, but he wasn't a terrible player with the Yankees. He was an average player, and who wouldn't want to be an average player in the big leagues?
No, who wouldn't want to be a cup of coffee guy in the big leagues from that standpoint, just to have played in the big leagues. How about Gardner? What's his future with I always thought of him as kind of the heart of the Yankees.
Well, I think this year he might be more in a reserve role, as a fourth outfielder. And even I think they're hoping that Clint Frazier has a good spring. And, that was a great opportunity for Clint last year, but he got hurt. And I think they'd like to see Clint Frazier, get in the picture a little more. But it's great to have Gardner on your team because he can come in there when somebody gets hurt, and somebody always gets hurt, and, be a spark plug, just like he's always been.
Okay. Another thing I jotted down to talk to you about today was Derek Jeter in Miami. I saw a quick blurb that he's bringing back some former Yankees, mainstay Yankees. Let me guess who they are before you tell me. I'm guessing Bernie Williams is one, and Posada is another one. Those the two guys that they refer to?
Well, Posada, the Marlins got him last week. He's going to help out the team down there. Bernie is he's still with the Yankees. He's in camp with the Yankees, and he's doing a concert over here in Clearwater. So,
I wonder who that other player is that they refer to, if not Posada.
Well, they got Gary Denbo, who was the head of the minor league with the Yankees and used to be Jeter's manager in minor league ball, who did a great job with the Yankees, and now he's with the Marlins. And you might see Tino come down there too, with the Marlins. He had a stint with them as a hitting coach a couple of years ago that didn't go too well, but that's a possibility too.
Yeah, he was a really solid New York Yankee, no question about it.
Well, they got Tino at the right time. I mean, he had 6 outstanding seasons with them, and they won the 4 World Series, and they almost won a 5th one. So Tino was a great player with the Yankees, and he was a fan favorite.
And I would think that he would be in Miami, heavy Latin population.
Well, he was down there a couple of years ago, and they had some problems and stuff with him and the players got into it a little bit because the players wouldn't pick up the batting practice baseballs in the batting cage, and Tino got on him a little bit, and he resigned shortly after there. But I think anytime you can bring in those ex-Yankees, especially what's happening with the Marlins down there, Jeter's got a tough job ahead of him, and I wish him luck. I don't blame the fans for not going to the game.
Losing. He wants to win now. He's one of those people that are going to take what they learned on the ball field into an executive position and lead by example, so to speak. He was an overachiever. I'll give him that.
Well, he's got a really tough job there with the Marlins. So, they're starting from scratch, and, the fans down there are unhappy, which I don't blame them because they tore up a couple teams. But, you got to give Jeter a chance. You got to give him X amount of years to, turn around the franchise, or else they'll be moving.
Yeah, which is any time a team moves, that really puts a bad taste in the mouth of baseball. You don't want to build up a fan base, a lot of young kids involved, and then all of a sudden you move, and that's terrible.
Well, you definitely lose a lot of fans. You lose a lot of future fans, and some people, they don't get over that.
And too, Florida is a retirement community as well, and I think St. Petersburg, I think you'll agree that just by the average age of the fan, you're going to have to keep attracting new fans, so to speak. There's a certain difficulty in that. So, I don't know. I'd hate to see no teams at all in Florida because your ballpark situation hasn't been settled yet, has it?
No, they're still up in the air. But the good thing, I like that St. Pete at least has a chance to fight for the Rays. I mean, I'm glad they didn't come over to Tampa. I just think that was a smoke screen from day one. But there's some areas in St. Pete they're looking at, and at least they're going to have a chance to get something done. And I hope they stay. I mean, I don't want to see any teams leave. I know when I was up in New Jersey, when the Sussex Cardinals left, the rookie league team, I missed them. I enjoyed going to the games.
Yeah. Hey, Jack, good show. Thank you for the Yankee update of the week. And we'll do it again next week, same time, same bat station, as Al Blumpkin would say.
Well, thank you, Ralph, and check out my Facebook page because I'll be throwing on a lot of pictures from spring training.
Oh, I love them. Keep doing it. What memories of those years for me growing up. My Giants had moved to San Francisco, speaking of leaving kids in a lurch. And not that I loved them then. I worshiped the players, hated the team, attended Yankee Stadium regularly. And you posted one the other day, Jerry Lumpy. I liked Jerry Lumpy and Norm Seaburn. They were never given a fair chance in New York. They went to Kansas City and did very, very well. One of those times, the Yankees lived off of the Kansas City pipeline, so to speak. And one of those times I don't think they did very well. Not that Bobby Richardson wasn't the cat's meow, and not that they didn't do well in left field without Norm Seaburn, but those guys went on to be pretty good American League ball players. So you brought back some memories. Keep posting those pictures, young man.
Well, I'll be throwing on some more tonight. I have a reprint of the 1950 World Series, and I'll be throwing some of those pictures on tonight or tomorrow. Beautiful.
Love looking at him. Brings back the memories. Anybody out there? He's Jack Degraw. You can find him on Facebook.com. Be well, everybody, and thank you again for listening. Stay well. Be healthy. Adios.
Take care.
The proceeding was a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production. Thank you for listening.